America, Philippines, Greece, Turkey, Canada, Mexico, Belize, yes, Belize, Spain, Colombia, Brazil, Japan, China, the UK, Germany, Italy, and if I didn't say Greece already. And there's one country I can't remember. I know who y'all are. I just forget to write you down so I can shout out to you. It's a little bitty country in Africa. I want to say, if I say it right, Eritrea or Eritrea. Eritrea. You all, I'm working on it. Hello, everyone. Today, I just want to talk about what I have done recently in my latter portion of consciousness. You know, I had to go through stages of consciousness. First was knowing that there was such a thing as consciousness. I'm from a different region where consciousness is not practiced. Consciousness is not it's not a subject matter in the forums that you're involved in. When you're at the youth club or when you're at the boys club, no one is speaking consciousness. When you're at the parks, when you're at the events, your coaches, your community leaders were not in my era speaking conscious. It was just go to and do this. That's it. You just did what your parents did, and then you did what your parents' did. There was no other introduction to any other outside thinking because they said so. That's why we did things. And we respected that because that's all we knew. Now, when I started to really express open thinking and consciousness was when I started to notice that the people who were giving me advice on what I was supposed to be doing weren't doing these things themselves, which is okay. However, what got me more involved in finding new ways was that they were doing things that I didn't approve of myself. And you can't lead me if you're foul. I still will love you and respect you, but don't tell me as if I don't know what's going on. I'm not. I'm very observant. Even as a young child, I just don't talk or speak on certain things that I see because most things are things that I saw, no one else saw, so it's not anyone else's business. That's the way I think. I'm still like that for the most part. However, getting back to the point, I didn't really start exploring consciousness until I was around 17 or 18. I just had questions, and it can't just not be because that's just the way it is. That's not good enough. I need some book, I need some words, some dates. All right, enough of that. So as I got into when I started traveling around 18 or 19, and I started going to different places, I started seeing young brothers who were younger than me, who knew who they were and were mentally so much more in depth and mature than I was. I'll just say the cities. I could say when I started going to places like Detroit, Oakland, and LA, cats out there, man, when they're 16, I'm not to say that they're not where I'm from, but I mean, they're just on, cats out in LA and 16, man, they're on it, you know, or cats in Detroit, you know, in the larger cities, man, when they're 16, they're ready for life. I'm still like, I'm 16 in a 16-year-old body. I still have like the mentality of 12-year-old. You know, I have no life experience outside of working on the farm and logging. I have no real life experience, like street experience. I don't know this from that. You know, I can count, I can read. No one's gonna jip me on my money, on my change. You know, none of that stuff. But as far as this life and how to approach different things and setbacks and obstacles and things of that nature, I've been taught to look at things in black and white, or understood things in black and white, not in the terms of negotiation. And don't be flanked, don't be distracted by someone else's shortcoming. Use what you have to overcome that, and look at that and start playing the game to win. Don't play the game that they play. Play your game and play to win. So this is where I'm at today. I'm playing the game to win. I'm not playing anyone else's game. I will enter the court, but I am not signing up for your rules. I will play by the given rules of the universe, and also I will play by the rules that I see are necessary to keep and maintain my dignity and my sanity and my placement within the universe. So let me get into what I've done in the next part.